All right, the third week of Drew Peterson's murder trial coming to a close again. Peterson's accused of killing his third wife, as just mentioned, Kathleen Savio. We know that the judge has repeatedly criticized what he sees as missteps by the prosecution. They've been calling witnesses all week, including a pathologist who testified about why he ruled Savio's death a homicide. But Peterson's defense attorneys, they still feel confident.
Here's what's important. We're coming to the end of week 3. We've heard from lots of witnesses. And I ask you, the Fourth Estate, who has put Drew in that house, near that house, or said that he had anything to do with anything that happened in that house? That's what's important.
There you go. Let's talk about it. Joining us now, criminal defense investigator Charles Mittelstadt. And the defense, you just listened there to Steve Greenberg, one of the attorneys. They're feeling pretty good. And they had to all along. You're an investigator. You need evidence. And it's lacking for the prosecution because, number one, it was originally ruled an accident. Correct. So it's, I mean, some of the evidence could be gone, right?
That's right.
Right out of the gate.
Yeah. I mean, it's clear from what we've seen is that so far the defense is feeling pretty good. I mean, they had one of the biggest indicators is they had this option to withdraw their motion for a mistrial, which indicates they like this jury quite a bit. I think we've heard from the defense team that there's even this kind of Lopez mania going on within the jury where they're dressing in a very similar fashion, presumably, you know, the colors that maybe the Lopez's wore the day before or something to that effect. But yeah, I think there's been some missteps. I think the defense seems to feel somewhat emboldened by this, and I think at this point they seem to like their chances.
When you talk, I mean, because you look at this case, and we're watching Drew Peterson there. He's a character, and the more that the prosecution can get that into a jury, the better for them, whether, you know, whatever he's doing. But when you talk about evidence in this case, it leans to the defense, right? Have you seen evidence for the prosecution that says, okay, wait a minute, they have something here? I mean, you've got what the prosecution's talked a lot about potentially Peterson staging the crime scene where they're originally they show up, there's no towel in the bathtub where she's found her in the bathroom, then they go back and there is a bath towel. I mean, is that strong evidence or not?
Well, I mean, you know, it's going to come down to how forcefully either side argues this. I mean, what you have going on with regard to Dr. Bloom and the forensic pathology in this case is you have a battle of the experts. And so now you have Dr. Bloom, the prosecution witness, taking the position that, you know, it's his opinion that this is a homicide, yet you have a series of other forensic pathologists that have looked at the same evidence and come to a different conclusion and have ruled this to be accidental. So a lot of this comes down to interpretation, and while there are certain pieces of this that could be compelling on one side for the prosecution, there's also similar pieces of evidence that are equally compelling for the defense.
Right, hence they haven't even started their case, and they're feeling pretty confident. Here, when you talk about the prosecution, one of the things that Kathleen Savio's sister pointed out, there was blood in the bathtub. So if she drowned, why is there blood in the bathtub? And here's her quote. He said, and Drew Peterson's there cleaning up the tub, and here's the quote from Anna, "I'm cleaning the tub because I don't want the kids to see the blood." And she's thinking to herself, I was like, why is there blood in the bathtub? She drowned. I mean, is that something that's going to score with the jury? Is that evidence that goes for the prosecution or not? You
know, it could be, Mike. It's the juries are such an interesting dynamic. I mean, the things that you and I might seize on may completely go over the jury's head, and they might seize on something that you and I might find completely inconsistent. It never ceases to amaze in a case when you find out, or if you do a mock jury, a mock trial, the things that they tend to focus on. And so, you know, it's very difficult to know how that's going to play.
All right. Tough to read a jury, obviously. Again, week 3 wrapping up. We're going to keep an eye on it. I'm sure you will as well. Charles, thanks again. Good seeing you. Appreciate it.